Hello, everyone, and this is Akeziel here, and today I'll be reacting to The Church of the Broken God is Wrong by Dr. Cimmerian. This one was requested by Flying Rider on the Discord. I've never actually watched anything by Dr. Cimmerian before, but I know that SCP tends to be interesting, so I'm looking forward to see where this goes. And as always, there'll be a link to the original video in the description box below. But without further ado, let us begin.
There are loved ones in the glory whose dear forms you often miss was written by Dr. Cimmerian. That's me. You can find it on the SCP Wiki and a link in the description below, and it is under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike 3.0 license.
I was born with broken legs, with barely functional arms, with just one lung. I was blind in one eye, and half blind in the other. My body was a mass of dull, aching pain.
Oh my. So just a child that was born and disabled and disfigured by the sounds of it.
I was 5 years old when a doctor said, in hushed, saddened tones, that I would not live to see my 30th birthday, and my father believed the charlatan. The first of the surgeries happened then. My parents became poorer and poorer as these conmen claimed that I could not be repaired. It was not long before my mother had her fill of pain and passed on. After that, my father broke. He became convinced that there was a plan for me. The mechano-priests of the church agreed, and he asked for their forgiveness, so they granted it. He gave over part of himself to their machinations to become steel and bone.
This is giving me some Adeptus Mechanicus vibes. And I'm assuming that these people all turn themselves and their adherents into cyborgs to varying degrees. Possibly with the higher rank you are in the church, the more of yourself becomes replaced with steel.
They called their deity broken. They said God was like me. And then they granted me sight, granted me the ability to walk. By the end, I was just as much machine as boy. My father thought I was finally saved, but they were, all of them, deceived. God cannot be broken. My father fell away from the faith after a time. He had transacted with them and gained a working son. So we returned to a somewhat normal life, hiding our modifications underneath false flesh. I grew, and the metal grew within me. The mechano-priests may have been ignorant of their god's true nature, but they were masters of their craft. I excelled. I was stronger than my peers, faster, and sharper. But I knew a deep, abiding truth. I was incomplete. And so, as I became an adult, I returned to the church. For a time, I felt a belonging. I set my vows, became a mechano-priest. I refined my skills, took flesh, and turned it into something beautiful.
Refined flesh and turn it into something beautiful, he says. I am concerned given that, well, there's that saying about beauty being in the eye of the beholder. And, well, given that that he had spent most of his life blind in one eye and half blind in the other, or always in pain and disabled up until he got augmented by the mechano priests, I am concerned what his idea of beauty might be. But in addition to that, There's also, I find quite interesting the idea of, well, you know, after imagine how assuming he went to a school, if well, instead of being homeschooled before he was fixed, so to speak. Just imagine the one day he just comes back and just suddenly he he's just no he just doesn't have any of the disabilities he used to have, even though all the augmentations are hidden under false flesh. So I assume something like, say, synth skin. I still think it'd be pretty obvious that something's up, given that he just came back with full functionality. Although maybe his father moved into another school. Who knows?
My patients screamed before, but blessed me after. And with each person I repaired, I brought myself ever closer to God.
Oh, since he mentioned his patients screaming, I wonder, did he operate without anesthetic, or did he operate on people who weren't willing?
But the other priests, jealous of what I was becoming, called me heretic. They said that only those who chose this life should be modified.
Oh, he was
But how will
operating.
we
He was operating on unwilling people.
complete the great work if we wait? I left, built this chantry. It was I who found our god's discarded heart, who placed it here in a place of worship. I drained the heart into the baptism chamber. Now we bathe in the oils. When I slipped into it, I could feel it working into the gaps of who I was. I felt my skin harden, my bones break and reform. It finally repaired me, just as it repaired all of us. The great machine continues apace, but it is not complete. And I will turn every piece of flesh on this earth to steel and code. I will drag you all here, screaming or not, to complete our God. Coming here was correct and good. I will not stop my great work as you've asked, but I will show you God. And we will unbreak you. I swear it.
The way he whispers that whole part about unbreaking people. But also, the fact that he's also been doing these operations on people and mentioning about completing their god. So I am guessing, based on this, that first off, the supposed broken god is that what he means about the god's true nature is that the god is not broken, but rather just incomplete, and that all the people who get turned into cyborgs, or even turned entirely into machines, become extensions of this god, and by turning everyone on the planet, that and having a machine singularity, that the supposedly broken god will become complete.
Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell next to that so you're notified when I upload new videos. And then head on over to patreon.com/dcimmerian and pledge at any level like everybody here on the screen already has, including Sinjariki and Christina Amos, who have both pledged at $100. It's nice to know that I'm not alone out here. And I will see you all again, hopefully next week. And hopefully by that time I will be finished with building the thing in my basement that I was talking about in my last video.
Thing in his basement? Yeah, that was definitely fun to watch, and I'm curious actually about more SCP stuff. Of I hope you guys enjoyed watching with me. You guys should definitely go check out Dr. Cimmerian in yourselves and subscribe to him and watch his content if you're not doing so already. And if you enjoyed watching this with me, I'd appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. But until next time, ta-ta!